You were never supposed to survive long enough to hear the alarms, and yet there you were floating above a dying world in a shuttle that had already decided it hated you, while the rest of the galaxy watched your death with the same enthusiasm they reserved for administrative paperwork. Every species, every empire, every so-called enlightened civilization, all of them had signed the legendary, infamous, utterly spineless document known as the Rescue Pact. If your ship went down in restricted space, no one came for you. Not to warn you, not to scan for survivors, not to drop a medkit from orbit. Nothing. Crash meant death. Treaty approved. Galaxy certified. Except humanity. Humanity didn't sign anything that told them not to save someone. If you ready to hear how a single-stranded Deathworlder forced the galaxy to break its oldest taboo, how you became the reason billions relearned what courage actually looked like, then breathe slow, settle in, and let's begin. The shuttle screamed as it dropped out of the upper atmosphere, metal warping under the pressure, sparks coughing from dying circuits. Smoke filled the cabin. Gravity flickered, vanished, slammed back again hard enough to rattle your teeth. You clawed at dead controls, burned wiring, shattered screens, sparks that drifted upward in zero-G before being crushed downward again. A single message glowed across the cracked display. Nitrogen monoxide rescue authorized. The words pulsed in bright red, like the shuttle wanted you to appreciate the poetry of your impending death. You hit the emergency beacon anyway. Even if every alien species in the Orion Spur pretended you didn't exist, humans didn't. Someone out there would hear it. Someone out there would try. The shuttle bucked sideways without your permission. Clouds swallowed the view. Heat built under the hull. Something important snapped loudly behind you, although at this point, everything was important, and everything was snapping. Then the ground rose to meet you faster than any surface had the right to, and the world went white, then black, and very, very quiet. You woke to ash, a sky the color of bruised violet, radiation storms flickering like silent lightning just beyond the horizon. Your body ached with a thick, deep pain of crash trauma ribs screaming, shoulder throbbing, a ringing in your skull that played a monotone symphony. Your suit blinked warnings across your visor. Atmosphere toxic, radiation elevated, hostile fauna detected, estimated survival, 9 hours. You sat up anyway, because humans had a bad habit of not listening to odds. The shuttle behind you was a mangled carcass, still smoking, still hissing, still offended at the accusation that it had been designed to stay in one piece. You pushed yourself onto unsteady feet and froze. Something watched you from the ridge above, tall, too thin, limbs bending where limbs shouldn't, eyes glowing with a sickly green light. It stared at you for a long, silent moment, tilted its head once, then again, in 2 directions at once. Then it vanished behind jagged stone like it had never been there. You let out a breath you didn't know you were holding, but you didn't relax. Things didn't relax on a world like this. Your visor pinged. Your distress signal was broadcasting. Good. Then it displayed responses. Very not good. Vrask Empire frigate, retreating from signal radius. Coalition scout vessel, changing course. Thalian Peace Watch drone, deactivating sensors. Every species in range heard your beacon. Every species turned away. The Pact demanded it. The galaxy obeyed. But humans didn't sign the Pact. Static crackled in your ear. A broken whisper. A voice you recognized. Hold your position. Your heart stuttered. Say again? Identify. We coming. Then the voice dissolved into static. You didn't know who it was. You didn't know how close they were, but someone human was out there. Someone heard you. Someone meant it. You started walking. Because you couldn't stand still. Not on Rathun 4, the kind of world that made Earth look like a friendly petting zoo. The ground pulsed under your boots, subtle tremors like the planet resented you for continuing to exist. Stone pillars jutted up like broken fangs. Heat shimmered from vents in the cracked terrain. Sounds echoed strangely, too slow, too stretched, as if distance itself had trouble behaving here. Your visor flashed again. Life form detected. Distance, 12 meters. You crouched low, every muscle primed. Distance, 11 meters. Closer. Then the creature launched itself from the rock's limbs hooked and barbed. Bioluminescent veins pulsing beneath stone-gray skin. Teeth curving like surgical tools. You fired on instinct. The bolt tore into its side, sending it shrieking, but it didn't fall. It twisted midair, faster than it should have, and lunged again. You dodged, the creature's claws scraping stone where your head had been half a second ago. You fired, a second shot missed. It reoriented, muscles tensing for another leap, and something slammed into it from above. Metal. Angular, human-made. A quad-wing drone smashed the creature into the ravine wall with a crunch that echoed like thunder. The drone hovered, a single blue light pulsing at its center. A voice crackled through the static, clearer now, familiar, grounding. Lieutenant. Finally found you. You sagged with something between relief and disbelief. Commander Ruiz. Please tell me that's really you. On approach, she answered. 2 minutes until we hit extraction range. Do not be brave. Do not pick a fight. Just stay alive long enough for me to grab you. You laughed, even if it hurt. I'll try my best, Commander. Her voice softened. We don't leave our own behind. You know that. Your eyes stung, and for once it wasn't smoke. Then the drone's tone changed, sharp, urgent, wrong. Multiple heat signatures, closing fast, your blood chilled. How many? A pause. More than you can survive. You felt it before you heard it. The vibration, the tremor, the steady, bone-deep rhythm of something massive approaching. You turned just in time to see the ridge erupt into motion. Dozens, then hundreds of creatures like the one that attacked you, only larger, plated in armor like hide, glowing with molten lines beneath their skin. They poured over the rocks like a living avalanche, shrieking in layered voices that didn't sound natural at all. Ruiz barked through the cum. Move, Lieutenant. You didn't argue. You ran. The ground cracked under your boots. Heat vents hissed steam. The storm above flickered with pulsing white arcs. The swarm behind you roared a sound that vibrated your ribs. The drone fired bursts of blue light, barely slowing the front ranks. You fired backward without looking, hoping to buy even a moment. It wasn't enough. The swarm gained. Fast, too fast. A creature leapt, claws outstretched you, twisted, barely dodging as it slammed into the ground beside you, cracking the stone. Then the earth betrayed you. A fissure split under your feet. The world dropped out from beneath you. You fell. You hit something soft, then something painfully not soft. Dust poured over you as the crack sealed above, muffling the roars from the surface. You lay still for a moment, catching your breath, letting the shock fade enough to move again. The cavern around you glowed faintly from blue bioluminescent moss clinging to the ceiling. Tunnel mouths branched in every direction like veins. Air hummed with a low, vibrating energy. Your suit gave another warning you ignored. You stood, scanning the cavern, then froze again. Shapes moved in the shadows. Small creatures, fast, curious, watching you with too many eyes, but not attacking. Not yet. You walked deeper because forward was the only direction humans ever understood. The tunnels narrowed. The light dimmed. Heat intensified. The air thickened with the smell of old stone and something metallic. Then you reached an ancient wall covered in markings, carvings, symbols you didn't recognize. Lines spiraling into shapes that felt deliberate, purposeful, old. You reached out. The stone moved. No opened. A door sliding aside in silence. Behind it stretched a cavern so vast your visor struggled to map it, and filled with shapes that made your breath catch. Not bones, not ruins. Ships. Human ships. Hundreds of them. Ancient. Lost. Buried. Some so old they belonged in museums. Others so damaged no one could have survived. All of them hidden deep beneath a death world. Your visor flickered. A faint signal activated. Human origin. Close, alive. Someone human was down here. Someone who had been here long before you. You tightened your grip on your weapon and stepped forward into the glow of forgotten metal, unaware that the person waiting in the dark wasn't here to save you, but to warn you. Hey, everyone. Still here? Still awake? If you are, that's fine. Because things are about to get darker, stranger, and far more human than the galaxy ever planned for. So breathe slow, and step with me into the tunnels beneath a death world, where the past hasn't finished speaking. You move carefully between the towering skeletons of forgotten human vessels, each one covered in dust and time, their hulls carved with symbols you don't recognize. The air tastes metallic, heavy with the weight of abandoned history. Lights on your suit flicker, struggling to stay alive in the stale atmosphere. Your lungs drag in breaths that burn, but you force yourself onward. Because there is someone else down here, human, alive, and that shouldn't be possible. Your footsteps echo between rusted landing struts and half-collapsed bulkheads. Some of these ships are older than the Terran Union itself. Drake-class scouts from the early frontier. 3-spine transports from the first exoplanet colonies. Even a shredded coffin-shaped module bearing the faded sigil of old Earth exploration course. They all disappeared around different stars, different missions, different failures, and yet every one of them ended up right here, buried on Rathum 4. Your cum crackles suddenly. Lieutenant, do you copy? Ruiz. The relief hits you so sharply your knees nearly give out. I'm alive, you answer quickly. I fell underground. Lost signal for a moment. Your beacon is faint, she replies. The swarm is still active topside. We're circling for an extraction vector, but there's interference. Something deep under the surface. You look up at the cavern ceiling layers of stone, metal veins, and some kind of pulsing energy field running through the rock. Yeah, you mutter. I think I found the interference. Ruiz's voice tenses. Explain. But before you answer, something moves. A flicker of shadow between two massive ships. Then another. Your hand goes to your weapon, nerves pulling tight. Commander. Hold transmission. You step forward, weapon raised, heart pounding against bruised ribs. As shadows keep shifting, drifting with purpose. Footsteps echo lightly, but not like the creatures outside. These steps have rhythm, pattern, thought. Show yourself, you say quietly. A silhouette emerges between the hulls. Humanoid, tall, wearing a suit you've never seen, heavy, armored, cables running along the spine like artificial muscle. A visor glows faintly blue. You tighten your grip. Then the figure lifts both hands slowly, palms up in a universal sign of peace. The voice that comes through is unmistakably human rough, low, like someone who hasn't spoken in months. Don't shoot, please. You don't lower your weapon immediately. Identify yourself. A pause. Then the stranger reaches up, tapping their helmet. It unlatches slowly, the visor retracting with a hiss. A human face appears gaunt, pale, scarred by time and radiation. Eyes sunken from years underground, but sharp, too sharp. The stranger smiles weakly. Captain Soren Vale? Terran Union Expeditionary Corps. Your heart slams harder. That's impossible. Vale went missing 31 years ago. He nods. Yeah, and I've been stuck here for all 31. You lower your weapon inch by inch. Behind you, your suit continues scanning. The results flash across your visor in disbelief tissue readings. DNA confirmation. Human. Very human. Very alive. How did you survive here? You whisper. Soren gives a humorless laugh. You won't believe me. Try me. He gestures at the cavern around you. Because I didn't survive alone. You stiffen, eyes flicking into the shadows. Movement shifts again, multiple figures stepping from between the derelict ships. Not hostile. Not approaching fast. Just present. Silent. Human shapes wearing mismatched gear, patched armor, scavenged suits. Faces tired but alive. 15 of them. 20, maybe more. Some old, some young, all carrying the same haunted look. You swallow hard. Your crew? You ask. Some of them, Soren answers quietly. Most weren't mine. These people are survivors from other ships. Crashes the galaxy never investigated. Distress signals no one followed. His voice tightens. Because of the pact. Your breath catches. How long have they been down here? Soren looks around slowly. Some decades. Some only a few years. Some only days. Then he looks at you. And we would have saved more. But Rathun doesn't let go of people easily. You shiver, remembering the swarm above. How are you still alive? The planet feeds on energy, Soren explains, tapping one of the cavern walls. The stone pulses with internal light. This whole world is built on an ancient power network. We learn to tap into it, hide beneath it, survive under the surface where the predators don't come. You narrow your eyes. Why not call for extraction? Humans would have come. Soren's jaw tightens. We tried. For years, we tried. But something down here locks long-range transmissions. He steps closer. Your beacon cut through for a moment, because your crash tore open a new tunnel. That's the only reason we heard you? You exhale slowly. So what now? Soren's expression shifts controlled, but frightened underneath. That depends on why the planet woke up. Woke up? You blink? He points upward toward where you fell. The swarm, the storms, the tremors, the energy fields. None of that happened for months. Then the moment your shuttle hit atmosphere, everything came back online. As if the world sensed you. You stare at him. Commander Ruiz is trying to reach me, you say quietly. Humans are coming. At the word humans, the survivors around you shift nervously. Soren steps closer, lowering his voice. You don't understand. If your extraction team lands here, they won't find survivors. They'll find a war. You stiffen. What do you mean? There's a reason all these ships ended up underground. Something brought them here. Something that hunts anything with human signatures. He gestures at a dead engine core cracked open nearby. Black residue coats the inner walls. A planetary intelligence. Automated, ancient, programmed for extermination. You go still, and then something else happens. The cavern lights flicker. The floor vibrates. Your visor glitches. Soren snaps his helmet closed. It found us. For a heartbeat, everything is silent. Then the cavern roof splits open with a deafening crack, stone shattering downward. You dive behind a fallen bulkhead as a surge of blinding blue energy rips through the cavern. Several survivors scream. A shockwave rolls across the floor, sending metal crates tumbling in dust, exploding into the air. Through the dust, you see it. A massive construct lowering itself through the broken ceiling. A machine. A sentinel. A relic built before human history even started. Dozens of segmented limbs, each ending in crackling emitters. A central eye glowing with cold, analytical hatred. It scans the cavern. Locks on to you. Your visor pulses a warning across your screen. Target priority. Human biosignature. Soren grabs your arm and yanks you behind cover. You need to run, now. You shake your head. I can't leave these people. He looks at you with a strange mixture of pain and admiration. That's exactly why it's hunting us. The sentinel fires. A beam of concentrated energy tears through the deck where you stood seconds earlier, melting metal into glowing rivers. You sprint between broken hulls, throwing yourself over jutting pipes as explosions shake the cavern. Survivors scatter in every direction. Soren runs beside you, breath harsh, steps uneven from old injuries. Ruiz's voice bursts into your comb again, panicked. Lieutenant, your signal just spiked. What's happening down there? You duck behind a collapsed wing as another blast hits the ground. Commander, I'm under attack by something ancient, something that wants humans dead. Static floods the line. Then Ruiz's voice cuts through, hard and certain. We're coming down there. Your stomach twists. No, if you land, it'll target you too. We don't leave our own. Before you can argue, the sentinel screeches a metallic howl. It begins shifting its limbs, charging something larger, heavier, more final. Soren grabs your shoulders, eyes fierce through his visor. Listen to me, he says. Your extraction team will die if you don't stop that thing. And if they die, we all die. Humans, survivors, anyone left. You look from him to the survivors scrambling, to the monstrous sentinel preparing to fire, to the crack in the ceiling where Ruiz's team will arrive any second. Your heart pounds. You are outgunned, outnumbered, outmatched, injured, exhausted, alone. But you are human, a Deathworlder, the one species that never signed the pact that demanded silence while others died. You stand. Your weapon shakes in your hand. Your ribs scream with pain. Your visor flickers, but you face the sentinel anyway. Soren whispers behind you, stunned. You're going to fight it alone? You take a breath. No, you say. Not alone. Above you, through the crack in the cavern ceiling, engines roar a familiar thunder you've longed to hear. Human engines. Terran engines. Your rescue finally arriving. The sentinel turns upward, ready to shoot them down, and you charge directly at it. Hey everyone, still here, still awake? If you are, that's fine. You inhale softly, letting the quiet settle around you like a warm blanket. Just drift with the voice for a moment. Everything's calm now, calm, but not still. Because you're about to witness how far humanity will go when the stars think you should have stayed quiet. So relax, close your eyes, and let's fall right back into the moment where you stood on a dying moon, every species watching you, waiting to see what the last Deathworlder would do. Now, let's go back. The last stand of the Pact Breakers. You're standing in the heart of the shattered moon base, heat hissing around you from molten fractures in the floor. Outside the broken dome, the galaxy's armada circles like vultures, waiting for you to surrender, hoping you'll simply accept extinction with dignity. You don't. You never did. The command frequency clicks alive with a sour voice, the same one that lectured every human colony for years. Human, shut down your systems. Open your gates. No species will rescue you now. You violated the pact. You exhale, slow, patient, almost amused, because they still don't understand. Humans never signed the No Rescue Pact to avoid saving others. They refused to sign because no one, no council, no empire, no galaxy would ever stop you from helping people. Even when those same people hated you. The other species only saw stubbornness. But you knew it was something else. When the galaxy expected you to break, the moon shakes as orbital weapons begin charging. Dust falls from the ceiling. Your suit absorbs the vibration like it's a heartbeat. Behind you stand the survivors you rescued: Velnari, Strixians, 2 Keth children clinging to your leg, even a trembling ambassador of the Highborn Alliance. All species who abandoned humanity for breaking protocol. But when their outposts fell, when fires swallowed their homes, when the pact forced everyone else to watch from a safe distance, it was you who came. It was always you. One of the Strixian elders leans toward you, voice cracking. They'll eradicate this moon. You should leave us. We aren't worth your death. You glance back at them, slowly, calmly, like a parent reassuring a frightened child. Nobody gets left behind, the elder chokes, because nobody in their entire life had ever said that sentence to them outside human voice. The human response? You raise your wrist terminal, tapping an encrypted long-range burst, a single message, a single code, not to fleets, not to governments, not to councils. To people, your people. The message shoots across the relay network, slipping past military firewalls and civilian receivers alike. Anywhere a human listens. Anywhere a human watches. Anywhere a human breathes. The message reads, retrieve them. All of them. No exceptions. You don't hear the reply, because humanity doesn't answer with words. It answers with engines. A shadow across the stars. High above the moon, the first ripple tears across the void for re-entry, sharp and bright. Then a second. Then 10. Then hundreds. The fleet that emerges isn't polished or imperial. It's chaotic, assembled, human. Cargo ships turned rescue barges, mining vessels refitted with medical wards. Civilian haulers bristling with improvised shields. Old militariers patched with mismatched armor plates. Generational arcs. Free colonies. Independent clans. Every sector. Every outpost. Every group of humans scattered across the galaxy. They all came, not because they were ordered, because one of their own said someone needed help. You feel your throat tighten as the void fills with familiar shapes, old models you trained on, prototypes you thought were scrapped, entire construction rigs repurposed as escort vessels. And leading them, a single obsidian dreadnought bearing the oldest human symbol, a hand reaching down, another reaching up, the mark of the rescue corps. The message from its flagship captain floods your comms. Hold tight down there. We're bringing everyone home. You swallow. Hard, because this is who humans really are when nobody's watching. The Alliance panics. The Galactic Alliance channels erupt in chaos. They're violating the pact. Humans are mobilizing. Where did they get this many ships? Why would they die for strangers? Nobody answers them. Because they already know the answer. They're just terrified to say it out loud. Humans don't rescue people because it's strategic. They rescue because they can't live with the thought of someone calling for help and hearing silence. Even if the person calling has betrayed them before. Even if it kills them. Especially then. The break of the blockade. The Alliance fleet forms a wall around the moon, energy cannons powering up. The human flotilla halts for a breathless second, waiting, not for permission, for the choice, your choice. You step forward, activating a direct broadcast voice, steady, calm, unshaking. This moon is under human evacuation authority. Stand down. The Alliance commander snarls. You do not command this galaxy. You tilt your head. I don't need to. Another ripple shakes the void, this time from behind the Alliance lines. A second human fleet emerges, then a third, and a fourth. These aren't rescue vessels. They're combat craft. The old ones humanity built before the Pox era. The ones they mothballed because peace was supposed to last forever. Turns out humans kept them fully functional. You hear the commander's voice break. How many ships do humans have? You answer softly. Enough. And then you give the order that no species expected humans to ever speak again. Break the line. The moment every species remembers the human fleet surge forward. A wave of engines lighting the void. A storm of drive plumes and shield flares. No formation. No neat military precision. Just raw human determination. Alliance ships fire. Human ships do not dodge. They accelerate. Because humanity learned long ago. If someone tries to block you from saving people, you don't negotiate. You go through them. The first collision is seismic, an old cargo hauler ramming a cruiser, shields sparking like fireworks. Then a mining barge plows between two destroyers, tearing open a corridor. Human boarding pods launch from civilian ships as if they were war carriers. Medical frigates weave through particle fire like dancers. Over open comes, you hear human captains shouting to alien ships. Get behind us. Keep moving. We'll take the hit, just go. You feel something warm in your chest. Pride. Recognition, memory. This is humanity unrestrained, humanity unfiltered. Humanity doing the one thing everyone tried to outlaw, saving people. The evacuation your base doors burst open as rescue shuttles land ramps dropping, medics pouring out. The Keth children are pulled aboard first, the Strixians next. Then the highborn ambassador who keeps whispering, Why? Why would you do this for us? You crouch beside him, stabilizing his breathing unit. Because someone should have. He stares at you as if you've spoken a forbidden truth. Maybe you have. One shuttle after another lifts off, protected by human gunships. Human Marines drag survivors to safety. Engineers shield them with their own bodies. You're the last one waiting, because that's how it works. Everyone else goes first. The price of being human, as you step toward the final shuttle, the moon trembles violently, Alliance doomsday cannons reaching overload. The human fleets above shout overlapping warnings. We can't hold them. Move, damn it. Get off that moon. But you stop, mid-step, because you see movement in the corner of your visor. A single figure, crawling out from collapsed debris. A species you've never seen, pale, trembling, half buried. Nobody even knew they were here. Nobody would have looked for them, except you. You lift the debris off them, carry them in your arms, and sprint. The shuttle medic reaches for you. You push the survivor into their arms. They yell, "Get in now!" You shake your head. Not because you want to die, but because there is one rule humans don't break. Everyone out before you. Everyone. You back away as the shuttle lifts. The medic screams your name, The door seals. The moon cracks. Bright light swallows your vision. And then silence, darkness, weightlessness. Then a metallic clank. Your eyes open. You're inside a human drop pod. Someone grabbed you in the explosion's last millisecond. You blink as the interior hatch opens, and standing outside is a human pilot who grins at you like you re an idiot. Next time, she says, don't wait until the moon detonates before running. You laugh once, breathless. Humans, always pulling each other back from the edge. The galaxy's first new pact, when the dust settles. Millions of aliens saved, countless more evacuated. Hospitals full but alive. Civilizations preserved. The No Rescue Pact collapses within days, shattered by a single truth. Humanity broke the pact, because humanity was the only one willing to. At the new Galactic Assembly, the highborn ambassador speaks for every species saved on that moon. His voice shakes with emotion as he addresses the humans. Teach us. He lowers his head. Teach us how to be. Like you. The chamber goes silent. Because they finally understand. Humans don't save people to be heroes. They save people because they refuse to accept a universe that lets the helpless die. The last line in the end, the galaxy rewrites the pact. A new promise, a new oath, a new law carried across every star. If someone calls for help, we answer. Signed not by humans alone, but by every species you rescued. Every species who saw you stand unbroken on a dying moon. Every species who learned what it truly means to live in a universe with humans. And they whisper a new name for your kind. Not Deathworlders, not Terrans, not humans, but something softer, something proud, something true. The ones who come anyway.